Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the next episode of Frankly Speaking. I am your host, Franklin Richards, and today with me, guys, we have a host that is really close to my heart. This gentleman has created something that I am a part of. I am the caster for the competitive scene in this game. It is, of course, Pickup League Hockey. We have Wraith, the developer, here with us. Wraith, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. So how have you been since COVID? Keeping safe, I imagine?
Oh yeah. That initial lockdown last spring was pretty rough. Getting through all that, but I stayed safe. My wife stayed safe, so yeah, it was worth it, I guess.
That's good, man. Great to hear. So, of course, Pickup League Hockey. What a game, man. You know, we've seen so many people join in recently, and we'll get to that in a little bit, but we have to know kind of where the beginning of this game came from. What made you decide to create Pickup League Hockey here for the Oculus Quest and other platforms there?
Well, I think a lot of it was just pretty much coincidental timing. I never really played hockey in serious leagues, but I was always a fan of it, both video games and the real game. I'd been playing literal pickup league in real life, for quite a few years. It was like right around the time, let's see, I guess it would have been like 2015 or so. I was in a game and I got a breakaway goal. It was a great shot. I have to pat myself on the back a little, but I faked out the goalie so hard I actually tripped over him and ended up breaking my scaphoid really bad.
Oh no!
Yeah, so I faked him out and he went flat on his stomach, and I ended up falling over him and planting my hand. So I ended up needing a bone graft and various other things to actually heal that up, and it took quite a while. So I basically stopped playing hockey after that in real life. And so I guess it was whenever Oculus started doing their Best Buy demo stands for the Rift.
Right.
So I think it was probably 2016 or maybe early 2017. I was just wandering through a Best Buy and saw it, and I'd never really stuck my head in VR at all or kept up with any of it. But when I tried that demo, I think it was trying like to climb or something, is what they were demoing at the time. I was just, the first thing that popped in my head was, man, I could totally make a hockey game using this. It was funny because during that demo, I don't know if it was a Best Buy employee or an Oculus representative, but whoever was actually doing the demo, as I was climbing around, he's like, "Now you don't want to let go because it'll make you sick if you fall." I'm like, "Oh, really?" And I just of course push myself off the edge and look straight down.
Oh, what a madman!
Never tell me not to do something when I'm in a
Just
game.
gonna entice you to do it more.
So I was like, well, that didn't make me sick. So probably people could handle some kind of virtual skating. So that was kind of the thing. And I ended up buying one. I think it was that day, or maybe I went back a couple of days later and bought the Rift CV1. And I didn't immediately work on a hockey game, but I did maybe 6 months later or so. I started making a little prototype in the I don't know if it's Godot or Godot engine, which is an open source game engine. Mm-hmm. It was really basic. It was really just a rectangular ice surface, I guess you could call it. It wasn't multiplayer or anything, but I just wanted to see if does it feel as good as I thought it would in my head.
Right.
And it did for the most part. The Godot engine, especially at that time, was pretty immature, I would say. At least as far as its 3D support, and especially VR support. Mm-hmm. It's gotten a lot better. But anyway, basically, I actually saw a trailer for a different hockey game. So I was kind of hyped. I was like, "Oh, cool! Someone's making it. I don't have to do the work." And what ended up actually happening was I didn't see any other posts from that particular company or about that game for it was probably 6 or 7 months or something. It was like complete radio silence. So I was like, well, I'm not going to wait any longer. I guess I should try making my own. So I ended up using the UD engine because it was more mature for VR back then. I'm actually a big fan of open source stuff, and I probably would have used Godot if I'd started today, just because I prefer that kind of stuff. I like to own, or at least have the option of spinning off my own tech if I needed to. A little old school like that, but anyway, so I started with the Unity engine with on the Oculus Go, and that was the beginnings.
That's crazy. I actually never knew that it started on a completely different engine and then moved over to Unity. I had no idea. So that's actually really cool. So thank you for the insights to the beginning. So besides moving over to the Unity engine, what were some early adjustments that you had made to the game?
There were so many changes over the.
No, I know.
Like,
it's hard to try and pick one out of the crowd.
I think because I started on the Oculus Go, the biggest gameplay kind of change or tweak I had to make is my original concept that was in the Godot engine. That was on the CB1, so I had full controllers and stick stop and all that. But with the Go, of course, you don't have that, so you can't lean. There wasn't really hand tracking at all or controller tracking. It was kind of fake. So they're just angles of shots that were impossible to pull off. Like general stick handling was okay, but then you kind of have to like turn yourself to the side 90 degrees and kind of scoot, like skate backwards to be able to hit it straight ahead. So I ended up having to make a system where I split the hockey stick in two. And some of the remnants of that are still in the game today. But I split the hockey stick in two, where the face is technically a separate piece from the stick itself, the shaft. And then if the Go user held their trigger down, it would stop rotation of the stick face while you could still rotate the rest of the stick. So you could basically hold the stick sideways, lock down the trigger, then move your arm forward. And you could kind of almost like what's that sport? You can like shuffleboard it. You could kind of push the puck forward.
Yeah.
So there was actually a lot of people got very, very good at using that style. It didn't really feel particularly realistic in terms of hockey, but it was the best I could do on the Go.
Oh, of course.
But people got really good at it. I mean, they were coming up with all kinds of crazy shots that you actually can't pull off in real life because of that.
Absolutely, man. And talking about like crazy shots, I'm gonna definitely pick your brain a little bit about some of those crazy shots that we've seen throughout both VRHL and just public matches. But I'd love to discuss the birth and the rise of the VRHL. So for those that are sitting at home who don't know, could you describe what the VRHL is and what it's done for pickup league hockey?
Sure. I mean, the VRHL is essentially a community-run hockey league. We got teams and players, free agents, so to speak. It's completely organized by the community. The tournaments are all community-run as well. And I did that, or at least I encouraged that from the community because, well, for one, anytime that I might be spending organizing tournaments and stuff like that, takes away from time that I'd actually be working on the game. And then, the other thing is that it lets them experiment with stuff that is outside of the realm of, I guess, something that might be in my head. Like when you're a game developer, especially a solo game developer, you tend to get tunnel vision. And it can be really hard to look at all the perspectives of how something might be used or what people can see potential in things that you might miss. Whereas in a team environment, if you had 5, 6, 10, whatever people helping you out, that kind of stuff actually starts coming naturally during the development of the game a lot of times. So I really wanted different perspectives. I didn't want to necessarily influence it too much to see how people, embrace the game. Is it ready for competitive play? I don't know. So, back in I think it was February, we had the first tournament. That's really kind of the start of the VRHL. So this game's been around. I released it, I believe it was February of 2019. So the game is over 2 years old now, and
Holy
it was
cow.
almost on the anniversary that we had the first real tournament, the 2 year
Wow.
anniversary.
Okay. That's amazing. And so like I assume that they're going to be expanding things and other things down the line, or
Yeah, I mean, there's some, basically what we've ended up doing is there's kind of a board of directors of the VRHL, which is a kind of a league elected board. I believe it's 9 people, and I don't count as one.
right.
I am involved, of course, in some of the conversations where needed, or if there's like a tiebreaker vote or something, I might weigh in. But generally speaking, I just let them run it, organize the tournaments as they see fit, come up with rules for the league. For example, I didn't code in offsides in the game. I think that while it's a vital rule to professional hockey and organized hockey in real life, in the environment of a networked multiplayer game, it's very hard, and especially for people who might be coming in, you really don't know how hockey works. All they might know is they've seen clips of Wayne Gretzky or something scoring a one-timer. So
100%.
Trying to explain to them how, in the context of a VR game, how, offsides works that's just not something I ever wanted to actually put in the game as a mechanic. But the VRHL, because they're a separately run thing, they're like, we really need this to make sure the gameplay's fair. So they have trained and organized referees as well, who will basically spectate the games and make calls like offsides, or if the puck gets shot out of play gratuitously, they have a rule where it ends up in a penalty shot. So I think it's really cool how they've kind of evolved the rules as they've been playing.
That's amazing. And like, that's so cool to see that the community has built itself so much that, they are able to take that rule book either from regular hockey, like you said, and create that offside rule. And like you said, have referees who are willing to spectate the matchups and make sure that their matchups are run fairly. And, I think that's fantastic. And I can't wait to see what the community brings next. I'm very excited for that. But I do have to say, guys, with the rise in player base, you've been releasing updates to this game like a madman. Seriously, folks, this man has released an update once, twice, up to like maybe 4 times a week at sometimes. This man does not stop working on the game. He sees an issue and he fixes it. It's amazing to see, and it's amazing to see how much he absorbs the community feedback. So Wraith, just really quickly wanted to give you a shout out there, but how does it feel to see the work being received by the players, and how does that drive to push you forward as well as the game?
I mean, it definitely drives it forward. Without players in a multiplayer game, there's no point in improving it. Really.
Right.
You try and you try to attract people, but there are games that just can't get the exposure they need. And they're good games, but the thing is that pickup league hockey is a labor of love for me.
Right.
I have a full-time job as a programmer that's not on games at all. It's in the business, kind of general business realm.
Okay.
So the work that I do on pickup league hockey is work that other people might be spending watching Game of Thrones or a movie or something. So really, it has to be something that I enjoy to continue doing it, and it is, thankfully. I enjoy working on it. And I really enjoy seeing all the players that are just enjoying the game. It's very rewarding to me from a mental perspective, I guess you could say, to see the fruits of my labor paying off and people actually enjoying it. I've had, the game is, like I said, it's over 2 years old from the first release, and it's gone through a number of changes and improvements, obviously in the gameplay and also graphically. And all of those are really pushed at the suggestions and the requests of the community itself. So, it'd be easy to have left the game graphically where it was 2 years ago, where it's kind of like a very toonish look to it, incredibly basic rink, stuff like that.
Mhm.
It would have been easiest to leave it that way. And technically, you could still have played it, and it could still play just like the way it is today. But because of the number of people coming in and the number of people saying, "Hey, we want better looking player models. Hey, we want more realistic looking goalies." So I threw up I can't remember what it was. Might have been a Kickstarter, might have been Indiegogo. I can't remember. Maybe a year and a half ago, just a small one, just to say, "Hey, you guys want this art? Help me make it happen." So it turns out they did. So over the next couple months after that was successful, they got new improved artwork.
And what an I hate to say it, my friend, but what an improvement it's been. You know what I mean? Even just in the time that I've started, I played this game back in February and I fell in love with it instantly, becoming the caster for the crew and everything else. I just love it. But I gotta say, the work that you've done is absolutely incredible. Like I joined in when they were still kind of like those cartoony looking characters, but man, just in 3 months, you know what I mean? The amount of work and detail that you've put into this game is phenomenal. Guys, if you don't know, this guy has done everything from tweaks in the stick features to latency and ping to the arena, doing an absolute overhaul and making it look fantastic. There are just so many things that Wraith has done. And so Wraith, just really quick, again, just want to give you a shout out for all the hard work that you've done.
Let me pause you for 1 second there, because I can't let you say that without me saying that I need to give a huge thank you to Ash and everyone in the community who has also contributed artwork, because I am not an artist. I am not an artist at all.
This is where I learn in the industry, because I completely forgot about Ash, and I need to definitely give them a shout out as well, as they have been a huge help for the community. But I do want to give a plug real quick. On May 28th, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be hosting our third Friday Night Puck tournament. I don't know what time it'll start but the Friday stream will be the semifinals and finals of that tournament. However, matches will be played all throughout the week. Wraith, if people want to tune in to watch those matches, could you tell them where they could go to watch that, sir?
Yeah, so all the ones during the week should be streamed on my channel, which is Wraith1. I guess you can add that into the comment section or whatever.
We're going to get a big graphic right over top, right there.
Awesome. And so now the actual finals is to be determined. Hopefully we'll actually have like a manually controlled caster doing the camera work and everything.
Right.
So I'll have to announce that another time.
Perfect. So are there any matches that you're excited to see throughout this tournament? Are there any that kind of like stick out to you, or are you just excited to see everybody get in and start playing?
I mean, honestly, I'm excited for every single one of them. It's really interesting, because the first Friday Night Puck was literally like thrown together with bubble gum and duct tape, and right. I'm amazed we even pulled it off. I think we had, I don't know, it was like 8 or 9 teams or something, and there was it was just incredible that it actually happened at all. But I think the thing is that at the time, almost every player on those teams was brand new to the game. We had a few veterans, and you can really see that in the way that the results of the games turned out. Where we did have some blowouts. There were 7-1s or 7-0s, whatever it is. And Friday Night Puck 2 kind of closed that gap a little. But now, the season, I don't know if you probably haven't mentioned this yet, but most of the people who are participating in this tournament have been playing in a ladder throughout the last month or so.
Okay.
And so all these teams have been getting time to gel. They've been trying to work on tactics and strategies for how do they approach the game. Instead of just, we saw some very strong individual performances in Friday Night Puck 1 and 2, but the game's advanced to the point now, and the teams have gotten so good to the point now where a lot of the times the difference maker is actually how well the teams are coordinating, which is exactly what I wanted. I mean, that was my dream for this game, is to see, actual kind of coordinated team play. amongst the different players. And of course, there is still room for individual standout plays, but it's much harder for that to be the game breaker if you don't have solid team play along with it. And I think that that's going to be a huge difference. I mean, if we look at the top, I want to say, I think it was like the top 5 or 6 teams on the ladder out of the 10 or 12 that were participating.
Mm-hmm.
They're all very close. Like I really do think that pretty much any team has a chance to win this thing.
Man, I'm excited to cast it. I know I've been getting all my throat all warmed up, ready and excited for it because it's going to be a good time. And like you said, I think the teams are going to be really evenly matched this time around. You know, like you said, we had those veteran players during the first tournament that just kind of, you know, shocked us all, you know, with their performances. But I think, like you said, it'll be a lot different. Different this time. It'll be a lot more difficult for those stars to shine so bright, if that makes sense. But they'll definitely have their times to shine. Sorry, I'm just making sure that I have my questions correct. So Wraith, from all the work that you've done to the community you've created, to the passion I see each and every day from all of us inside the VRHL and Pickup League Hockey, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Without you, none of this would be possible. And I wouldn't be living my dream, you know, of doing casting for a hockey game, let alone a VR hockey game, something I would never, you know, tell 10-year-old me that they'd be dreaming, you know. So I just really quickly want to say thank you from myself and for the whole community that you created this, and just say, you know, I hope you will not stop and just keep on the amazing work that you're doing. In closing, my friend, is there anything you'd like to say to the community or the viewers at home who may still be on the fence about downloading this game?
Well, if you're on the fence about downloading it, just go download it. It's a free game. It's a free game, and you can hop in and try it. If you don't like it, you don't have to play it. But I do recommend trying it if you're at all interested in, you know, real sports or VR sports or hockey at all. I mean, you know, give it a shot. It can't hurt, right?
Absolutely.
I think we've got a great product here, and you know, I guess as a kind of a last statement, I'll say that, you know, you're right. The pace of my development since the App Labs release in February has definitely been fairly blistering, I would say. Both in terms of figurative and probably on my fingertips too with the keyboard.
For sure, my friend, for sure.
Yeah, I do view this game, the development of this game, as a marathon, not a sprint. And you've probably seen me put that in Discord a few times when some people talk about things. But I really do mean it. You know, there are many games, in fact, most games, you have to churn out very quickly and see if it gains traction. If it doesn't gain traction, you give it up and you do a new one. And that's really common in the mobile games industry, for example, where if you're a small mobile game developer and you spend more than a month developing a game or, you know, something like that, and then you release it, it bombs, then you keep working on it, it bombs. It's pretty rare you're going to survive as a development company doing that. So, and that goes even more so for VR in a way. If you're getting into the industry to try to make money, you know, there are some breakout hits for sure, especially with the early birds to the scene. But I think you have to take a very long tail approach to VR games, to VR game development. The market's there, but it's not really from a percentage of gaming population to a percentage of the general adult population that might use electronic devices for entertainment. People who get into this need to be prepared to kind of look at it as a long-term investment, a long-term strategy for success, because VR will get there. And obviously with the Quest 2, it's really taken off quite a bit more than, or maybe faster than people expected. But you know, there still needs patience. And so for a multiplayer game, you know, you got to look at it long-term, because people only spend 20, 30, if you're lucky, 40 minutes at a time in a VR headset. Whereas in a game like, say, Overwatch, people can be sitting at their keyboard for 4-hour sessions. You just can't do that in VR. So to get that critical mass of multiplayer gamers into VR is probably going to take a little bit longer. But I think once it's here, and it pretty much is here, I think it's here to stay.
I could not agree with you more, my friend. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap things up here. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, we have to give a hand to Wraith for joining us here today. And of course, if you guys haven't yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you guys get notified every single time we release an interview. Wraith, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. I really appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you, Franklin.
All right, guys. And with that, we shall see you on the next episode of Frankly Speaking. Until next time, have a great rest of your day.